Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting. I'm your host, Jay Light. My guest today, Aysha Wax.
Hello.
Aysha, hey, what's happening?
I'm here. It's the new year.
It is the new year.
I've been on a health kick, so I've been doing a lot of fitness classes.
Yeah? What sort of fitness classes are you doing?
So I got ClassPass, and I've been taking all of these, I would say, cultural appropriation yoga classes.
Okay.
It's like yoga in the dark, where you're listening to hip hop and being really spiritual. I really enjoy them.
That sounds like such a mishmash of
it is.
cultural problems.
It is. It's totally stolen from Indian culture and Black culture, and it's very enjoyable.
Man, I just do high intensity interval training.
Oh yeah,
That's all I do.
I don't like doing that.
See, neither do I, but I feel so good afterwards.
Okay.
I hate myself I think working out is probably the most healthy way to hate yourself. Because you do it in an hour interval, you do it in any given moment, and then after that, everything is all good.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. Well, glad to be back. Welcome. We're here in the new year, the second episode of the new year, and we have our boy Max back in the booth.
Oh, hey, Jay.
I thought Max was dead last week because he just no call, no showed.
I know. I'm sorry, man, but you're my emergency contact, so.
Thank you. Please, yeah, I'm so glad you made that change. Resolution 2018.
Make Jay my emergency contact.
Take good care of Max, my boy, my sweet boy in the booth.
Aww.
Let's talk box office numbers. Let's get into it. Our number one box office this weekend, coming in strong, taking over from Star Wars, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Jumanji tops the weekend in $500 million worldwide as Insidious 4 scares up strong debut, courtesy of Box Office Mojo. Now, Jumanji, currently predicted to get about a $36 million gross for the weekend, climbing up to number one, knocking out Star Wars, which has dropped to number 3. Have you seen either of these movies?
No, I haven't seen anything, but I've heard Jumanji is pretty fun.
I have too.
I'm on board. I like The Rock.
I like The
Kevin
Rock.
Hart.
The Rock's a very likable hunk of beef. You know,
Yeah.
I think he's a talented tattooed man.
Yeah.
And I can see why people want to go see this movie. And Jack Black is in it. Jack Black, throwback for me. I don't know.
Super fun. Karen Gillan, Kevin
Yeah.
Hart, everybody on board.
It's a great time. It just sounds like a great time in movies. What the vibe that I've heard is that it's a lot like 21 Jump Street in terms of that it takes you by surprise. So I hope that I can overhype the shit out of it for everybody listening to this podcast who hasn't seen it, and you go see it, and then maybe you don't like it.
Yeah, I hope so too. I haven't seen Star Wars either, but I've been desperately trying to see it with people, but everybody's either, because I was away for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to get my boyfriend's family to see it on Christmas. Nobody wanted to see it. And I've been slowly trying to work through the rest of my friends who have all seen it. So
Get somebody to go see it again.
I
It's
think
a
I'm
fun
going to go
move.
myself.
That's I did that myself on Christmas. I went by myself. I have tried so hard to make going to the movies on Christmas a family tradition, but I'm the only person who sticks with it.
Yes. I'm the same. I want to do it, and I have a movie pass now.
So do I.
So there's no reason why. And I bought one for my boyfriend, and I still haven't been able to convince him to go see Star Wars with me.
Man, all this movie pass. New Year's resolution. I'm going to file this one away now, too. We got to get Movie Pass to sponsor this podcast.
Yeah.
Get on it. Max is taking it down. He's writing it down on the legal pad from an escrow service that we have in the studio for some reason.
That's mine, man.
Yeah, you've been running an escrow service on the sly?
No. Girlfriend's family dropped it off at the house saying, "You write notes." But,
There you go.
So I have dozens of these at.
Are they in escrow? Do they work in escrow?
No. I mean, they don't legally I can't really say their name because they don't pay.
It's not sponsored. Look, if they want to sponsor us and give us more notepads,
Yeah.
feel free. But we are really gunning for that Movie Pass sponsorship. And so you can go see great movies like Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Just noticed, top 3 box office movies this week, all movies with colons in the title. I think we're seeing a trend because number 2 is Insidious, The Last Key.
I've never seen an Insidious movie, but I read one, and it was really scary.
Now, Insidious it's not a possession. It's like an alien movie, sort of, right?
I think
Something in that
it's
realm.
Like possession.
Let's. I know I'm mixing up because I know that there's that whole there's the whole subgenre of possession movies that kind of got reinvigorated with Paranormal Activity.
Yes.
And Insidious. I know there was one of those movies that was something about like a mirror being possessed. There's one about like a washing machine. I think I'm mixing that up with Japanese horror movies.
I don't know.
I mean,
What was the Insidious movie that you read about?
Oh, I read the script because I was taking a script writing class, and it was the one with Rose Byrne. She's in one of them.
Okay.
And Patrick Wilson, and their kid gets possessed.
Okay. This one says it's a, this is according to the Wikipedia page, and there's supernatural disturbances occurring at a family's home in New Mexico, a house in which she used to live in her youth, diving her deeper into the further. The film starts in 1953.
Oh, yeah, this is like a prequel to the one that I watched. This is the lady, I remember watching a preview for this, where it's the woman who ends up helping to free the possessed. So this is her childhood.
Yes, that sounds about right. Because the first one is about, a couple whose son inexplicably enters a comatose state and becomes a vessel for ghosts in an astral dimension who want to inhabit his body. So it's ghosts.
Yeah, that's a first one.
I was wrong. I'm sorry. It's ghosts.
Yeah.
It's just ghosts.
Yeah, it's kind of like Stranger Things. Like they're being possessed and there's kind of an upside down.
Okay.
So
That's that is unfortunate that movie's doing so well. But horror in January tends to do very well. I would think
yeah.
people are clamoring for it after the holidays. They want to get scared by some stuff. There was no Christmas horror movie that came out this year. There was no Krampus. There was no Black Christmas remake. There was no Prom Night. You know, people are wanting to see some ghosts.
And they're getting ready for that Liam Neeson movie that's coming out next week.
The Commuter.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I saw a preview and was like, I guess it's time for another one.
Yeah, it's January. That's another January tradition.
Yeah.
You got Taken, and Taken 2, and Taken 3. You got The Gray. You got
Right.
that other one. And now The Commuter.
Yeah. It sounds like he's fighting a train in this one, which I'm interested in seeing.
You know what I'm really looking forward to is The Commuter, The Accountant crossover that's going to happen.
Ooh, I would love to see that. Maybe
Just
they
called-
just do taxes.
It's going to be called Office Space. And I think that Mike Judge will be very unhappy when they call it that.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they murder a printer manufacturer.
With the bat.
Yep.
Liam Neeson did dabble with being funny for a little while. Like he did the Lego movie. He did like that Western Ted movie.
Western Ted?
The
Oh, y'all know about Western Ted?
I'm gonna Google Western.
You mean the
I'm
one?
gonna
Wait,
Google
wait,
Western.
What
wait.
was
Are
it
you making
called?
the Seth MacFarlane?
yeah, the Western he did. What was it called?
Once upon a no, that's not Once Upon a Time in the West.
Like
That's a
wasn't
legitimate
it like
Western.
A Thousand Ways to Die.
A Million Ways to Die in
Yes.
the West with Neil Patrick Harris. I didn't know that Liam Neeson was in that.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny in Star Wars, and that's like a desert-like setting.
Star Wars.
Wait, the
Star Wars
prequels?
has good comedic moments
Yeah, yeah.
throughout.
But-
I hate anybody. All right, I'm gonna go on my nerd soapbox here for a
Okay.
second and say that anybody who says that Star Wars
Well,
should not
well,
have jokes.
Let me change the camera angle.
Do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Get in there. Anybody who says that Star Wars shouldn't have jokes is fucking wrong because any movie should have jokes no matter what. You don't want to see a movie that's bleak for an entire 2-hour long plus running time. If you don't have a couple jokes in your movie, you need to go back to movie writing school and talk to your professor and have them slap some jokes into you. Because if you can't have jokes in your movie, then you are humorless and you should not have any power in Hollywood. Anyway, Star Wars is allowed to have jokes. I heard some guy complaining here. I was working here last night. I heard some guy complaining that they were like, Chewie doesn't have anything to do. He just gets attacked by cute things all the time.
They even
Oh my
threw
God.
jokes into Munich.
Yeah.
That's a good movie, but I agree. I didn't know that there was this complaint about so because I haven't seen Star Wars, all I know is that there's a big backlash. I don't know what it's about because I don't want to read what it's about because I do want to be surprised.
It's about
I don't
who
need
knows?
to know, but
It's grumbly, and you'll watch it, and I think what happens is you're gonna watch Star Wars, and you're probably gonna be like, I don't understand what people are so mad at this about.
I'm really excited for the Porgs. I also loved Ewoks because I was a child when I watched Star Wars,
Yeah.
and they're very cute, and
Same
people
here.
are very angry.
I'm with you, Aysha.
Thank you. I'm glad, Jay.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Off the soapboxes for a second into movies with no colons in the title. Not a whole lot of changes going on in the rest of the box office. Number 4 stayed the same. The Greatest Showman from the lyricists of La La Land.
I have feelings about that.
Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
No, just about the lyricists of La La Land.
Give me your feelings. Don't be afraid to catch feels.
I have a lot of I've ruined La La Land for Raj, our friend.
Yep.
Just because
Shout out Roger Wall, guest number 3 on this podcast.
he's wonderful. But yeah, the music for La La Land, I just want it to be so much better. And it's not. And I love musical theater, and I feel like it says a lot that I didn't love the music. So I just don't trust the lyricists from La La Land to do something good.
But they also won a Tony
I know.
for Dear Evan Hansen.
I haven't seen it.
It's okay. I haven't seen it either. I don't go to Broadway.
I saw Hamilton.
Now that was a musical.
That was a musical.
That sure was.
I spent a lot of money, so it better have been good.
It better have been a musical if you're going to spend that much money.
That's right.
Speaking of musicals, this is probably one I'm going to guess that you also might not like this movie. Pitch Perfect 3.
You know what? I don't know. I'm
Number
not
5
sure.
at the box office.
I'm not sure. I did cry during the second one.
Really? Why did you? I saw the original. I never saw the second. Why did you cry during the second?
I
Pitch
was on a plane, which already says it all.
Oh, already? Yeah. Okay.
And
I would say no more, but I do want to hear the rest of the story.
And then I started crying because I was really anxious on the flight. And then I started crying because I was like, they love each other. Their friendship is beautiful, which is a usual reason I cry. So I don't know what I'll think of the third one. I might like it.
I think you got to watch it on a plane.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You have to. If you don't watch it on a plane, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is one of those movies that screams, I need to wait and see this on a tiny, tiny screen that Delta has edited
Oh,
down.
my God, yes. I just watched Home Again on a flight, and
Ballers. Balling.
I know, I'm taking so many flights.
So many flights.
And I cried, and I laughed, and I loved it. And Nancy Meyer's daughter making it happen.
Congratulations. Yeah, ballers balling on planes. That's the next series we're going to do here. Fuck comedians in cars getting coffee. Ballers balling on planes to bad rom-coms.
It would be amazing if it was just like recorded on a flight because now you have so little space. So it's two people, and then next to you is a random person who has to listen to you talking about something.
I think that's the next step of our podcast. We're just going to invite a random person on the street on here, watch a movie, and then talk about it with them.
Yeah,
I like that.
Exactly. We can do it. There's a lot of everybody
Streetwalkers.
Everybody wants to be famous in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
We're trying to get. We're gonna try and catch the next Logan Paul out on the street and see if they can talk about movie number 6 on this top 10 list, which is Ferdinand.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they have opinions on a pacifist bull, or maybe they have opinions on number 7 on the list, Molly's Game, the biggest jump this week into the top 10.
That's pretty good.
Congratulations.
Wait, did it officially open wide this week?
Yes.
I'm assuming if I saw it, it opened pretty wide.
It opened to it
Oh
opened
my.
in a sweet elite number of theaters, 1,337. It is now in 1,608 theaters nationwide.
Molly worldwide.
Molly. There you go. Get
Molly's
that Molly.
Game does sound like a horror movie, though, right?
Molly's Game does. Maybe that people wanted to go see Insidious and they got
Yeah.
confused and went and saw Molly's Game.
It
And they're
does-
like, oh no, this is just a walk and talk.
Yeah.
This is just Aaron Sorkin being Aaron Sorkin. And it's Sorkiniest.
And I guess, and the first scene could start off as a horror movie. She's like alone in her apartment. It's dark, and there's like books everywhere.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you were making it up for a second that you hadn't seen it, and you're like, I imagine she's alone and there's books, which again, I'm on board for.
I feel like if you describe the plot of most movies in a certain way, you can make them sound like horror movies.
Yeah.
Like
Throw one at me.
The Greatest Showman.
It is
The Greatest Showman is a deranged man decides to keep his starving family in the poorhouse by bringing a circus into their house and vicious tigers and children.
Stay here.
You must stay. I am the greatest showman. I am the greatest showman. And he throws his kid off a trapeze. That's the cut in the kid is trying to escape on a trapeze and he misses the hands.
Oh, and he dies?
And you don't know because it's a trailer. All right, let's do
Home Alone.
Let's do Home Alone's so easy. That one's already been done as a horror movie. Let's do one that's off this list.
Okay.
The Shape of Water as a horror movie.
Okay, well, this is obviously one about drowning.
Yeah.
Like, it's one about, a family that goes on vacation. I don't know why we're doing families, but I'm staying with it.
Okay.
And they go to a lake. They never go on vacation on a lake. They're not that kind of family. They're not from the East Coast. And I'm giving the whole backstory, guys.
This is deep.
And they get in the lake, and one of the kids drowns. And it's unclear if he's lost, drowned, or just missing.
Oh, a little Don't Look Now.
And they try to
action.
cover it up.
Yeah, the family's covering it up.
All right, let's do one more.
Okay.
Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle as a horror movie.
I feel like the first one is a horror movie. It's about a child that gets lost in a game for 30 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think of the updated version.
Well, they get lost in a video game,
That's true.
so it's very similar.
Yeah, it could be a reflection on video game addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, that's what I really want to see. I want to see a movie about video game addicts.
That sounds so boring.
It's the most boring version of Shame of all time with Michael Fassbender. But, God, that'd be great.
Are they going to whip their dick out in this video game world?
Oh, we don't say whip our dick out on the show.
Oh, you say.
That's our new resolution is to talk less about whipping our dicks out.
Can we say whip your vagina out?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
sure,
yeah,
go
Okay,
for it.
all right. So are they whipping
Because then
their...
that sends the movie straight into the realm of fantasy.
Got it.
Because there's no female gamers, am I right? Audience,
Aw.
nerds? No, they're female gamers.
I just got a PlayStation, so
Nice.
Oh.
But I am not good at shoot 'em up games, so I
That's
guess
fine.
I'm living that stereotype.
Look, I have a Nintendo Switch. I just play Mario all the time. I don't know anything. I just want to throw a hat around. I want to whip my hat out.
I get that. And hopefully catch a vagina.
Yeah, they're nice little bow on that joke, I think.
That's how it works.
Closing it out, we got Darkest Hour, number 8. We have Coco at number 9, which is kind of a horror movie. Coco's like a color palette shift away from being a horror movie.
I haven't seen it, but I really want to.
I haven't seen it either, but I know it's about a boy who goes and hangs out with a bunch of skeletons
That's
in
true.
the afterlife.
That's true.
That's got a horror movie written all over it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then number 10, All the Money in the World.
Isn't a kid get stolen in that movie?
Kid gets kidnapped, yeah.
True story.
True story. At the Getty Museum.
Grand Theft Child. And that movie is it's got probably I would say one of the best marketing campaigns because it's just an ear origami that's bloody. I like it.
I do too.
I dig it. Anytime body parts are threatened to be cut off, you got me hooked. Let's talk about the big movie news of the day, which will be it's sort of a time capsule based on the time we're recording this and the time we're releasing it, is our Golden Globe predictions. Because the Golden Globes are happening in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They're going to start going down at time of recording, at press time. So let's do some predictions.
Okay.
Why don't you? Now, question.
Yes.
It doesn't sound like you have, because I also know that I haven't, but how much of the nominees, at least for like Best Picture, some of the major categories, have you seen?
I haven't seen, but I've read a lot of articles because we have a pool at work.
Okay.
And I did a lot of research because I want that $5.
Gotcha.
So
That's $5. It's important.
I need that $5.
Let's go with some picks then.
Okay.
Let's start off supporting actor, supporting actress. Now, I think the easy pick for supporting actor is Willem Dafoe in The Florida Project.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's either him or who are the other?
The other nominees: Willem Dafoe, Armie Hammer from Call Me by Your Name, Richard Jenkins, Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer, All the Money in the World, Sam Rockwell, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
I think it will be the Florida project.
Yep, I think that's the easy pick. Willem Dafoe's never won an award before.
But I want it to be Christopher Plummer.
I do too, kind of.
God, I want it to be Christopher
I
Plummer.
didn't even see it.
And
I don't
then
even
for
care
him
if
to
he's
just
good.
be like, fuck Kevin Spacey when he gets up
Yeah,
there.
that's all he says.
That's all he says in the movie and at his award speech.
That's all of his lines. It's just variations with different emphasis.
Just throwing shade throughout the entire movie.
I just imagine him being really sassy now, and I want to see the movie more. But only the movie I'm seeing in my head.
Yeah, I think that's what it is on the poster. That's Kevin Spacey's ear that's been cut off and covered in money. So yeah, I think Willem Dafoe's the pick for supporting actor. Supporting actress. Sad to see Tiffany Haddish not picked in this category. Love Tiffany Haddish.
Love her so much.
I think if she had been nominated, she would have won, but she still has a chance for the Oscar.
I hope so.
Supporting actress nominees: Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Hong Chow for Downsizing, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. Now, I haven't seen I, Tonya. I hear Allison Janney is very good in it. Same with Mudbound. I hear Mary J. Blige is fantastic in Mudbound. My pick is I'm gonna go with Laurie Metcalf here.
She was amazing. I have seen Lady Bird, like the one movie I've seen, which I
Man,
loved.
I hated Lady Bird.
Oh no!
I thought
okay.
Lady Bird was some rank rank and file, boring coming of age stuff that they've seen done better many times. But I did think Laurie Metcalf did a very wonderful job.
She was wonderful. Maybe it's an age difference thing because I was like,
not really. I'm
nostalgic.
27.
I guess.
I'm nostalgic too.
Maybe you're not.
No,
you might be. That's fair. I feel like every movie this year, any person who likes it also hates it. Like, I haven't had one movie where everybody I know has been like, that was really great. Like Shape of Water, Call Me by Your Name, Lady Bird. I've heard like very polarizing opinions on all of those movies.
Mm-hmm. I think that of the nominees that are likely to get nominated for Best Picture, in my opinion, Lady Bird is the worst of those. Just because Lady Bird's script didn't really impress me. The directing, I was like, this okay. I've seen this done before. It's a pretty stock coming of age movie in my opinion, and I think that the best parts of it were the acting, and I hope that they get nominated. And I would love Laurie Metcalf to win based on this field. But I'm still pulling for Tiffany Haddish, Best Supporting Actress Oscar.
That I've heard Allison Janney is kind of the shoe-in to win.
I've heard she's really great in I, Tonya, and I could see her totally winning.
So,
but I have not seen I, Tonya yet, so I can't
I haven't
make a call.
either.
Best actor in a motion picture or comedy. I think the easy pick here is actually it's not so easy of a pick because we got Daniel Kaluuya mucking up the works because they nominated Get Out as a comedy. I think it's going to be between James Franco and Disaster Artist or Daniel Kaluuya and Get Out.
I agree. I hope it's Daniel Kaluuya because he is amazing in Get Out.
I think it's probably going to wind up being James Franco, though.
I think so too.
And I think, James Franco also does a great job as our homeboy Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy? Do you guys know Tommy Wiseau?
No.
Like personally?
Personally?
Yeah, personally.
He's my guest next week.
Really?
What?
No,
Oh
I
my
wish.
God.
We should get, that'd be a get.
He'd
That would be a
probably
get.
show up, right?
He would for sure show up.
If we can get Tommy on
He
here.
lives around here.
Yeah.
I bet you guys could get Greg Sestero to show up.
We should track them down at one of these screenings.
Oh, just go.
New Year's resolution. Mark it down. Add it to the escrow notepad.
It's on there. I see it.
Best actress in a motion picture or comedy. I think probably the picks to win are, again, for Lady Bird, Saoirse Ronan, which also big ups to her because now she's I was going to say Italian. She's not Italian. Irish. Irish and Italians, those
They're the
people,
same.
those white people who everybody hated.
Correct.
Irish actress, which the Hollywood Foreign Press loves giving awards to foreign actors because they have foreign in the name, and that's I think Saoirse Ronan did a very good job in Lady Bird as Lady Bird.
Yes.
Margot Robbie, though, also spoiler, could win.
Who
for
else
I,
is
Tonya.
nominated? Anybody
Also
else?
nominated, yeah. We've also got Emma Stone, Helen Mirren, and Judi Dench.
What was Judi Dench in?
Victoria and Abdul.
Something my mom
It's
would
Queen
have watched.
Victoria. Max loves Victoria and Abdul.
Beautiful.
I'm sure.
Beautiful story.
Did you watch it with my mom? Probably, because this
I think
is something
so.
my mom would love.
Yeah, your mom's a big fan
I
of
saw a movie with
vaguely
the
British.
most handsome young man.
Oh my God, are you my mom? What's happening? Yeah,
Aysha, big surprise here. Max is your mom.
Oh my God!
Hey. You know who I would want to be my mom is my pick for best performance in a female for best actress for a motion picture drama, Frances McDormand.
Yes.
3 Billboards, great movie. Frances McDormand knocks it out of the park. She got a tough field though. Jessica Chastain in Molly's Game, Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water, Meryl Streep in The Post, and Michelle Williams in All the Money in the World.
I think that is a stacked category.
It's super stacked.
I'm going to say this. I don't want Frances McDormand to be my mom. I want her to be my friend. I think she'd be a really tough mom.
That's why I want her.
Oh, because she's going to put you into shape.
Exactly. She's going to make me a good child.
Yes,
by
I agree.
virtue of how tough she would be as
And
a mom.
I do feel like I did watch all of Kitteridge. I don't think it's true, but in my head, she's not going to show you the love that I'm going to want as a child. So I'm going to work so hard for that approval.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Because she's a tough broad.
Yeah.
Is she your pick to win Best Actress as well?
Yes.
Cool. I think the other potential could be Sally Hawkins. She does a great job in Shape of Water, but
have you
Frances
seen
McDormand all the way.
Happy Go Lucky that she's in?
No, she won a Golden Globe for that too, didn't she?
I love that movie. It's a Mike Lee movie. It is all improvised and it is wonderful.
Ooh, very nice. I'll have to check that out
Yeah.
sometime. Best Actor in a Drama, closing out the acting categories, we've got Timothée Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis in Phantom Thread, Tom Hanks in The Post, Gary Oldman in Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington in Roman J. Israel Esquire. Tough category. I'm going to go with Timothée Chalamet in
Oh, really?
Call Me By Your Name. He's been winning a bunch of awards already. I have not seen Call Me by Your Name, but he's my pick based on the amount of awards love that he is currently getting.
I feel like
Could be Hollywood's new It Boy.
I thought it was going to be Gary Oldman. It might be. I thought.
Could be Gary Oldman, too. See, and we were just talking last week about how much we love Gary Oldman around these parts.
He's amazing. I've heard he's really awesome in this movie.
And I can't believe he's never won an Oscar before. He may have been nominated for Golden Globes. It's absurd to me. So if he wins, good job. I'm happy for you, Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Come on this podcast.
Oh my gosh, is he your guest next week?
Yeah.
And Tommy Wiseau.
Him and Tommy Wiseau.
Oscar
It's gonna be a hell of a panel.
Wow.
Let's go through some of the other below the line categories before we get to the best picture predictions. Best screenplay. This is nominations: Shape of Water, Lady Bird, The Post, 3 Billboards, Molly's Game.
I think it's going to be Lady Bird. I know you're going to hate that, but
it's a terrible, terrible pick.
That's my pick. That's what I'm going to go with it. But
that's
what all the articles
vehemently disagree.
That's what all the articles I read said.
What I think they're going to go with is, again, I'm going to think they're going to go international pick, which means it's going to be Martin McDonagh or Shape of Water. So 3 Billboards written by Martin McDonagh or Guillermo del Toro, who has not gotten a ton of love from the Academy, from the HFPA in the past, except for with Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
Could be.
How many? There's like 90 people deciding this who are in the HFPA.
Yeah, I think it's
such a
some small number like that.
Write a foreign film.
He did,
but like to be in the category.
But he did that already.
Best foreign film.
That's what Pan's Labyrinth was.
Oh, that was actually in the category of best foreign film.
Yeah,
it's from Mexico, right?
Yeah, he's a Mexican man.
Well, hold on 1 second. Let me.
That sounded like, a cool, jolly thing. He's a Mexico man.
He's in Mexico. He's one of those Mexican mans.
A Latina.
A
Yes.
Latina.
A Latinx producer.
Latinx.
No.
He's a teen. He's a real wild teen. That guy. That's why The Shape of Water is so amazing. It's a teen who wrote it.
Guillermo. Oh my gosh.
A Latin.
Gosh, I have so much to do.
Yeah.
I'm really not measuring up to this teenage Guillermo del Toro.
These Latinage prodigies. It's pretty amazing.
They're getting out and about.
You're right. He's Latin.
Yeah. He's just Latin as Ricky Martin is. He's a whole genre of music. What am I doing? Best director is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Again, big crazy category here. Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Dunkirk, All the Money in the World, and The Post. Now, my pick is Dunkirk, because that's also my pick for movie of the year. It's a shocker.
Like it?
I did. I love Dunkirk.
See, I'm not interested in seeing it.
Why?
I don't know. There's no real story. It's
there is.
It's a bunch of vignettes about people at war.
That's
Lady Bird's a bunch of vignettes about a teenage girl.
That's of more interest to me.
Wrong. You're probably right. It might
I just
be
haven't seen it yet. I'll watch it.
Dunkirk is very good. I would encourage you to go see it.
Isn't there like a whole thing about somebody has to go to the bathroom for half of the movie?
I think so.
Yeah. So that's one of the plot lines?
No, not really. It's not really a plot line.
It's like saying that also happened in Jurassic Park too.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. I'll have to watch it. I'll give it a chance.
You should give it a chance.
Okay.
It's very good. I gave Lady Bird a chance.
That's true, and you didn't like it. So
I just didn't like it.
Not like Dunkirk.
You can go watch Dunkirk and not like
true.
it. If you watch Dunkirk and don't like it.
If they're all nominated, we should give them at least any of them by.
That's fair. I want to see all the nominated movies. I want
do
to
too.
see Shape of Water. I want to see Dunkirk. I do think Shape of Water is going to win because of that teen Guillermo del Toro.
That hot teen Guillermo del Toro.
It's his year.
But isn't there a comic that we've been seeing on like the network groups that say they stole a joke from his set that's in Roman J. Israel?
Guillermo del Toro?
Oh
no.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
I knew exactly who you're talking about, and
like,
that is
what?
a fucking street joke.
Oh, that's not a real thing.
It's not a joke that somebody stole. There's somebody posted in these comic groups about like, oh, Roman J. Israel stole my joke.
Okay.
And I don't even. Can you look up what the joke is?
Yeah, hold on a second.
This is it's a street joke, is what it is, and someone's mad.
What is Roman J. Israel about?
It's about Denzel Washington having a fro.
Is he a stand-up?
He's a lawyer, I think. I think it's about him being a lawyer. I think it's about Denzel Washington making poor choices late in his career. That's what I think it's about.
Maybe he just needed some money.
That's what I'm guessing.
I mean,
Roman J. Israel Esquire is probably the escrow lawyer who he worked with to try and get
He's like,
something.
I need my
you got to
beach
do a
house.
reverse mortgage. Something's got to change
Yeah.
here. I'm not really working a whole lot since Training Day and American Gangster. Everything changed.
that's true.
I got to do
Oh.
indies now.
Yeah. I have no interest of seeing that.
No, me either.
I'm not going to give it a chance.
I'm not going to either. While Max looks up that quote, best motion picture, the big comedies this year: Disaster Artist, Get Out, huge, super funny comedy, The Greatest Showman, I, Tonya, and Lady Bird.
So I'd like it to be Get Out, but I don't know, man.
I am with you on that. Exactly. I think I hope it's Get Out, but I could see why they wouldn't give it to Get Out.
I think that's the best movie in the category,
Yeah, I agree.
but it's a bunch of foreign people who, and I don't know if this is pejorative to call them foreign people, but they literally.
I mean, it says foreign in the name. We can call
they're
them
literally
foreign people.
foreign people, and they might not be as excited about that movie as like another comedy. Like Disaster Artist, which is Hollywood loved self-referential comedies about themselves.
Yep. I think a lot of people are what's gonna wind up happening is we're gonna have sort of like a vote splitting kind of situation where there's gonna be a lot of votes for Get Out and a lot of votes for Lady Bird.
Yeah.
Because they're both a little bit more prestige type of movies. But Disaster Artist is going to sneak through and win, sort of the way that The Hangover won when it won for Best Motion Picture
Did it
Comedy.
win?
Yeah, Hangover won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy.
Wow.
And Mike Tyson went on stage to go get a Golden Globe. It was great. It was a great moment in movie history.
That's why I like the Golden Globes. They are pretty fun.
Because I would love to see Tommy Wiseau go on stage for The Disaster
Yes.
Artist.
Oh my
And
God.
that, I think, is bound to happen.
I would love that with his 2 belts.
3 belts. Oh, he's going to go all out for it.
Oh my God.
He's going to put on an extra. He might even wear 4.
Oh, too many belts.
Not enough belts in my book. Finally, let's close it out. Can I say words? Best motion picture drama: Call Me by Your Name, Dunkirk, The Post, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Shape of Water.
I think that is probably going to wind up winning. My pick is Dunkirk, but I could see it being Shape of Water or Call Me by Your Name. But this is a strong, strong category. I think I haven't seen The Post, and I hear it's good, but I think any of these movies has a very good chance of winning and not being like, oh, this shouldn't have won.
Yeah.
It's a strong category. It's been a good year for movies. Let's be honest.
I agree.
2017 was a really strong year in movie
Yeah.
history. We've had weak ones lately. 2017, you brought back my heart. Now, what I would like to talk about next is one of those weak ass movies from the year 2016, which is a weak year in movie history, which is the reason why we brought you on here today, Aysha.
Hooray!
Aysha Wax, you hate Bad Moms.
I do.
Now, for those of you who haven't seen Bad Moms, don't. It's a 2016 American comedy film directed and written by some dudes, and it stars an ensemble cast that includes Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, Katherine Hahn, Jay Hernandez, Annie Mumolo, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Christina Applegate. And it's about bad moms.
Kind of.
Kinda.
I would argue only one of them is actually a legitimate bad mom. The rest of them are fine.
Why do you hate this movie so much, Aysha?
First of all, I really wish it was written by a woman or a woman and a man or 2 women, because it's written by these 2 guys as a love letter to their wives, and it really doesn't understand being a woman or a mom in any way. And also, I love all the women in this movie, and they deserve a funnier, better movie that they did not get. And that's really disappointing. And also, this movie doesn't understand how schools work. Like, these guys who wrote it were like, I think I can figure out how a school works. I'm going to make it up. Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you ask anybody? Anybody would have been like, that's not how schools work. So anyway, there's like a whole section of this movie about the PTA that made me so angry.
Oh yeah, because it's like the PTA runs the school.
That's
That's
a
not
school
how it
board.
happens.
A school board runs a whole district. You can't just be like, we're not going to have these classes. We're going to have year-round school because I want to. I'm the PTA president.
That's not how it works.
Throwing drugs in kids' lockers and shit.
Oh my God.
Right?
That's a legitimate crime. And everybody is like, shrugs that off like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh,
chill.
she totally shrugs it off. That's such a huge. There's so many gigantic gaping plot holes in this movie. So I would first of all, let's cover the fact that it was written by 2 dudes, not just any 2 dudes.
Yes, tell me more.
The 2 dudes who also wrote the highest grossing R-rated comedy of all time and Golden Globe winner, The Hangover.
Oh my God.
John Lucas and Scott Moore wrote and directed this movie and co-wrote The Hangover.
And I would guess that they're not married anymore.
No, I think that they might still be.
It might still be.
I
guess
think
we'll find out.
I also felt like this movie pandered so much to stay-at-home wealthy women that I was like, this is completely unrelatable.
Oh, go into that, please.
Because every mom is like, I just want to be the perfect mom. And like, there's so much pressure. And like, everybody's mad that I'm a working mom. And I was like, this is because these are rich women. Like, if you're a poor working mom, you're like, I'm getting my kid to school because I have to and then go work my job. And I am worried about this stuff, but tangentially, because my life is about getting shit done. Anyway, I did not have a lot of sympathy for people in this movie.
This movie is filled with a ton of unsympathetic characters.
Yeah.
Now, I watched this movie 2 days ago, and it feels like it's burned into my mind as an example of how tropes can go so bad.
Yes,
Because
agreed.
I think that tropes are a thing that you got to go to as a screenwriter, as a director. In every movie, there's going to be things that you can't ignore as, oh, conceptually, this is something that people have done in movies before, and they're going to do it again. You're going to have sort of a slobs versus snobs kind of thing going on. You might have a dopey husband. You might have a crazy party lady. You might have somebody who's super uptight. Great, cool. Have those character traits if you want, but do them well.
Yeah.
This movie does not do them well.
No, or make them kind of real people. Like,
Mhm.
I felt like nobody in this movie is a real person.
Oh yeah, no one in this movie is realistic at all.
No.
J.J. Watt.
I mean, I
Even
guess,
J.J. Watt's a caricature though.
yeah, he's like, they made him really sensitive for no reason.
I'm a soccer coach, but I have cats.
I hope he had more lines, and they just I gotta cut that.
He had a lot of trouble getting them out. I mean,
And listen, that's what happens when you cast an NFL player. They got head injuries.
no.
They can't speak.
He only has a couple more years, you guys.
Maybe.
in real life.
Probably. I don't. Isn't that how football works? This is what I think when I watch football. I'm like, how many years do they have before their brains turn into
You're
mush?
just counting down.
Whenever Aysha watches football, she just uses like a stat tracker of like, how many years do they have left on their life before they before they lose their brains?
I mean, it's just injury after injury, guys. Why are we letting
When's the CTE gonna hit? The
Right.
Aysha Wax story.
That is what I would think. That is what I'm wondering every time I'm watching people.
What I'm wondering is if the directors of this movie have CTE.
Maybe.
Because maybe J.J. Watt pounded them into the ground
Oh,
for
possibly.
directing his scenes poorly, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make a whole bunch more bad choices after that."
Did they direct this too? Or-
Yes.
Oh no.
They wrote and directed.
So nobody was like, "Hey, let's not put in another slow-mo montage." There are like literally 15 slow-mo montages in this
There
movie.
are too many slow mo montages. I think that the slow mo peaked at the time in the grocery store.
Oh,
That scene, I was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of funny. You're using slow mo to grocery store. That's wacky. And then every time after that, just drove it
you were
further
like,
and further
I know, you
into
were
the
like, they're
ground.
gonna do it this one time, and then they did it like 10 more times, and you were
Yeah.
like, no thanks.
I texted my girlfriend at the time because I was just live texting her the whole movie, and I was like, "Oh, they did slow mo in the grocery store. That's kind of funny." And she was like, "They do it like 6 more times throughout the movie," and I was like, "No, you ruined it."
Yeah, it's too many times.
I think there's a lot of problems in the making of this movie that if you go in depth a little bit, you can see the threads begin to unravel so much more than I ever would have imagined. So initially, Apatow Productions was supposed to produce this movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Judd Apatow was supposed to produce it, and Leslie Mann was going to star in the lead role.
Would have loved that.
Leslie Mann would have been a great Mila Kunis.
Well, also, okay, Mila Kunis is 32 in this movie, and she has a 12-year-old kid, and nobody talks about the fact that she got married when she was 20 like it's weird. They're all
Married and had a kid when she was 20.
Right, sorry, in the same year. She was like, I was 20 and I was in love, and everybody's like, yeah, I totally get that. No, what of your friends or family was like, yes. Is she Mormon? Okay, next question. Is everyone in this movie Mormon? This is my theory.
Everyone in this movie is Mormon? Go on.
Because Kristen Bell is for sure in some kind of fundamentalist Christian organization in this movie. She has like 50 kids. Her husband is like very patriarchal. It's very strange. And
Wears a lot of Oxford shirts.
she does.
Yep.
And
She wears a friendship bracelet necklace that her children clearly made for her in Sunday school.
exactly.
Yep.
Oh my God. She has at least 5 kids under 5. So
Yeah, she has too many children under 5.
yes.
Anybody who has that many kids under 5 has to be boldly religious.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird religious stuff, and like Christina Applegate is so uptight. I'm like, are they all really Christian? That's the secret subplot of this movie, that it all took place in Salt Lake City.
So is Catherine Hahn as the
She's
freewheeling fun lady? Is she Jewish?
Probably.
Mm.
Probably coming in there, infiltrating.
Jews control the fun. That's what I always say.
That's what I say. I'm Jewish, so
You guys control the
I
fun.
run into a party and I say, we controlling the fun here.
Yeah, you get it.
And
You're gonna
then-
take over the Spotify playlist. You're gonna commandeer the chips and guac.
That's
Yes.
right.
And you're gonna have all the fun.
Say a prayer, take a drink, and walk out.
Exactly.
Inhale the helium from all the balloons.
That's what, and then be vaguely a bad parent to my son.
Yes, only vaguely. I will say I did get hashtag snowflake triggered during this movie.
Oh, what
because
happened?
There is a scene in the restaurant when they're shitting on how dumb their kids are,
Yeah.
while the kids are like a table over and can probably hear them. There's a scene. There's the part where Catherine Hahn goes, "My kid eats butter," and then it cuts to him being like, "Are you gonna eat that butter?" I used to eat butter. And I was like, "You got what?
Like
There's
on
nothing
its
wrong
own?
with eating butter."
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to go to restaurants and I would be waiting for my real food to get there, and there'd be those little pats of butter, and I'd put it on a saltine cracker and I eat it.
well, you didn't eat it by itself.
I mean, I might as well have eaten it by itself. Butter on a cracker because I didn't spread it. I just globbed it on there.
I love butter.
Butter's great.
I liked how she called her son a fucking dumbass.
Oh yeah.
So he could hear.
So he could hear it.
Yeah. I also I had such a problem with how they would say this shit about their kids, and then a baby would show up in like any scene and they'd be like, "Oh my god, it's so cute."
Very hypocritical.
It was very weird. I don't do that when I see babies.
I don't think that any normal person does.
I do that when I see dogs. I will be honest.
See, every normal person does.
I do
though.
see dogs and I'm like, "Oh my god, tell me more about your life, dog."
I think that you touched on something really important, which is the fact that there are no likable characters in this movie.
Yeah.
I think that you know it makes sense for Christina Applegate to be unlikable because she's the villain,
Right.
I guess, sort of. Even though she gets redeemed and there's still 20 minutes to go in the movie,
And
and
she
everyone's
did
like, "Oh, everything's
something
okay."
Legitimately horrifying to a child. She
Yeah.
put pot in this child's locker.
After engaging in deliberate psychological warfare against a child,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I'm gonna hit her where it hurts. I'm gonna make her I'm gonna make her think her daughter's on drugs."
And she would have to be expelled. I like how they were kind of like, "Oh, she can't be on the soccer team anymore." She would be expelled from a school.
Yeah, that's what a no tolerance policy looks like, or the very least suspended
Yeah,
for
from the
a
school
while.
district, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to a no tolerance school, and I had a friend of mine who accidentally brought a knife to school in his
my
backpack.
God.
He had gone fishing over the weekend, and his knife from like cleaning the fish was in his backpack, and somebody saw it and reported him, and he got suspended from school for a week.
Yeah.
This is no tolerance.
But
They're done.
Yeah. That whole subplot was really upsetting to me.
I'm sorry, she's the president of the PTA.
Does anybody like? I just feel like nobody talked to these two men and were like, "Hey, the PTA doesn't function this way." I'm gonna keep saying this, but the PTA does not have any control over that stuff.
Right. Well, the problem is, as far as like from the male gaze point of view of it, they also not only did they write the women poorly, but they also wrote the men so poorly
Yes.
too. Her fucking
Mila
Kunis's husband, who's played by an actor who I have seen in other stuff and I enjoy
Me
comedically, David Walton. God, I could not stand watching him.
What a piece of shit.
He was such
Do you
a
think
piece
you read
of
the
shit.
lines before and said, "You know what? I don't know if I'd say this."
Cartoon piece of shit. Like he gets on screen and you're like, "Man, nobody is like this. No man. I mean, I guess he's relatable.
No. Relatable to who?
I don't know. Someone in a horrible relationship.
This is relatable to what Midwestern wives fantasize that their husbands are like. They want them so badly to be as bad of a husband as this guy is.
So then they can fuck Jay Hernandez
I guess.
with their vagina. They whip that vagina out, and Jay Hernandez is there.
Yeah.
He just shows up.
You
That
gotta
was
just
pretty
whip
cool.
that vagina out.
You just whip it out, and it's like a calling card.
You don't remember that you sent me a booty text?
You don't.
What? That's what the
You-
booty text.
A booty
That's right.
text?
That's right. He's like, "Oh, it was really dirty."
It was very, and he doesn't say dirty. He says disturbing, and then he
he
shows up
still
and he's
showed up.
legitimately horrified about what she said, and he's like, "Well, I could just show you," and then it's like, "Oh, we're just gonna fuck."
Yeah.
And didn't acknowledge the destruction around the entire house. Did you have a party, by the way?
No, he doesn't care. Also, no men go to the PTA. The school is gigantic. There's like thousands of women, and there's one man at that giant PTA.
And that one man is with a woman who's apparently been a lesbian the whole time.
Right.
And he's like, what?
And finds out the PTA meeting.
Yeah. Oh, my God. What a way to come out to your husband is announce it at the PTA meeting.
He's going to be horrified forever, or traumatized at least. He's not going to get over that. You know, like in therapy, my wife came out to me at a PTA meeting.
But Wanda Sykes is a great therapist.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. I wrote in my notes, like, Wanda Sykes is here to save this movie. She can't do it.
And she can't do it.
She can't do it.
Man, yeah, even those scenes, because I was like, she's trying, but this script is just dragging her down like an anchor.
Right. And at that point in the movie is so confusing, sorry, because she's like, they are already done, and suddenly they're at therapy together. I was like, I don't understand why they're at therapy. They obviously are both done with this relationship.
Yeah. No, it doesn't make any sense.
It needed to be officially done with Wanda Sykes.
I guess so.
But speaking of trying to save the movie, they also try to save it by bringing in Martha Stewart.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, great cameo.
Twice.
From Martha Stewart. Showing up. I was like, Martha Stewart takes Jello shots. Lol. That's a thing that probably, as soon as they were like, how can we put this in the movie? We get Martha Stewart. She takes Jello shots.
It was
probably
the only believable part of the movie, besides the credits.
Yeah. What happened in the credits?
That was the only part that actually touched me.
No, because they interviewed the moms.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. And that is really sweet. I wish that was the movie. I also was like, Mila Kunis is so pretty. I wish there was just like her sitting somewhere. And
Mila Kunis and I loved her interaction with her mom and Kristen Bell's interaction with her mom. And Kristen Bell's mom was like, "I told you to fuck off one time." Where was that scene in the movie?
Right?
Man, I would love if Mila Kunis had told her if like her daughter had said "fuck you" to her when she was like, "You had sex with Jay Hernandez. You threw your vagina at him.
You whipped it out.
You whipped it out."
I will say this too.
You whipped it out like a hat.
So I've worked with kids a lot. I tutored and I taught Hebrew school for 8 years, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jews run the fun.
What? Running the fun.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen a lot of stressed out kids, and that is not how they behave. They don't talk about college. They just start like hyperventilating and getting really sad. Like I have such a hard time with kids in movies and the way they're written as someone who's worked with kids, because they're always so articulate. And kids are kind of articulate, but they're not also. They're just emotional.
Like John never dropped his kid off at like school ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's another problem with the falling into tropes that this movie does. It goes into the worst versions of these by making the kids, like, one of the kids is super hyper smart and aware, and the other one is dumb as a fucking bag of rocks.
Right.
But then all of a sudden he's a savant and knows how to make a frittata at the end of the movie.
I was impressed. I don't know how to make a frittata.
And just go to Serious Eats and follow the instructions.
All right,
You can do it. You can do it, Aysha. I believe in you.
All right, I'm going to try. Wow, I'm getting a lot of shame here. I'm getting a lot of woman shame from these men about my frittata skills.
Women should know how to work with eggs is all I'm saying.
We got them in our bodies.
Yeah, put them on a plate. What have I done?
Whip them out. Whip them out.
Whip those eggs out of it. Oh, God.
Let me see.
I think, what other notes did you take about this movie?
Like about
so, what?
What more don't you like about it?
Yeah, because there's so much more to not like.
My other subplot is that Jada Pinkett and Annie Mumolo are together, that they're secretly
They're secretly lovers?
Yeah, because every scene is them together and they're bickering like an old married couple. And then at the end, Jada Pinkett is like, my husband fucked me so good, which was very confusing because the whole time I'd been like, oh my God, these women are together. They're the only non-white women who are in a straight relationship. They're together, but they were not.
It just occurred to me that those three in particular felt kind of like the grown-up version of Mean Girls.
Yes.
of the plastics.
Yes, they were exactly that.
And a terrible transposition of that too,
Yeah.
because Christina Applegate, nobody can top Rachel McAdams. whatever her name is, who played I can't even remember.
Amanda Seyfried?
No, not Amanda Seyfried, because I
Oh,
actually liked Annie Mumolo the best of those three.
Oh, Jada Pinkett, Lacey Chabert.
Lacey Chabert, that's right.
Yes.
She was, Jada Pinkett Smith is everybody falls into those. It's tropes. It's fucking tropes. That's the problem with this movie. It's too stock. It's not quite Lady Bird levels of bad as far as stock writing.
I'll read you some of my notes.
Read me some of those notes,
I wrote,
please.
I have a lot of questions about circumcised penises because that circumcised penis scene where they're showing how to use one was confusing at best.
Oh, the uncircumcised penis.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a lot of questions about uncircumcised.
Circumcised penises, they're a dime a dozen. You can do whatever you want.
But they had
with
this
those.
whole scene in the movie with a hood, like with Kristen Bell wearing a hood, and it's supposed to function as the skin.
Have you ever had to teach that in your Hebrew school class?
I did have to teach about circumcision. It was really awkward.
Did you use the sock method?
Wait a second.
That's my favorite way.
The sock method?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I want to tell. Yeah, what did you guys have to teach circumcision?
I didn't
in Hebrew school.
I didn't actually teach it, but I just looked up different ways for curriculum.
You had to. You actually had to teach it.
It was like a life cycles class.
Yeah.
So we had to talk about like how it's a contract between man and God that little boys go through, and then. At the time, all these like 12-year-old boys were like, "I remember, and it hurt."
Yeah, shut up, kid.
And I was like,
You don't remember.
it.
You were weeks old.
So I had to talk to a bunch of 12-year-olds about cutting their little dicks.
Man,
I know exactly what class we're talking about.
Yeah, life cycles.
Yes.
that's nightmarish.
Yeah.
What other things? Did you hate about this movie?
I thought about like all of this stuff that had to do with dating. I thought was really confusing. Like when Mila Kunis goes out and she's flirting and she can't stop being a mom to all these men. Like she keeps being like, "Oh, you're out past your bedtime," and like, "Oh, does your mom know where you are?"
And she mops a spill off of somebody.
Right. I was like, she is not a person. Nobody in this movie was really a person. And I know that everybody who liked this movie was like, Catherine Hahn is so great in this movie. And she is very funny. But I also think she's borderline crazy and abusive in this movie.
Catherine Hahn?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure she is. She calls her son a fucking dumbass multiple times.
Okay. I also... they talked about the bra that Mila Kunis was wearing being the death of her vagina, which brings in a lot of questions about how vaginas die. I didn't know it was through bras, but this movie taught me a lesson.
Oh boy. What other things did this movie teach you?
I wrote, is Kristen Bell in an abusive relationship? She's tucking this guy's dick inside of her. She talks about that she rolls it up like a sausage.
Oh yeah.
And
is there like a chart that we have to go through to make sure?
yeah, there is a chart. I mean,
Yeah, she said folds it up like a balloon animal, doesn't she?
yeah.
So genital mutilation.
Yeah.
Also, what fucked up balloon animals have you been seeing at your 5 children's different parties?
Wait, here's another question. Are any of her kids actually in school? It seems like she only has toddlers.
I think they're all preschool or younger age.
And she seems like she homeschools all of them because she's in a fundamentalist Christian
But how is she in the
cult.
PTA then?
A lot of questions.
I mean, look, the PTA is overarching and powerful.
It is.
If there was one joke that I could have thrown into the movie,
Yes.
it would have been the one where the lady stands up and goes, I'm not even have a kid. I'm just here to make friends.
I had a lot of questions about that lady. I did like that joke.
Yeah, let's talk one thing before we get out of here. What is the thing that you think? I mean, this movie, out and out, big old garbage pile.
Yeah.
I don't know how it got approved for a sequel. I don't know how it's gotten approved for a spin-off called Bad Dads.
No, are you
It did.
kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh,
I wish I
no.
was. But if there's anything that you wish that this movie had capitalized on as far as things that it did right, what would that be?
Well, wait, so I'm talking about the things that I liked about it?
Talk about if there's just one thing, because I feel like there may be even just half a thing that you liked about this, which is a joke, and that's all I've heard so far.
I did like that joke. I did write, wait, Mila Kunis and I are almost the same age, and she is a 12-year-old, so maybe connecting me with the Midwest. I did enjoy all of Mila Kunis's spit takes when she's on the way to work. There was a lot of physical humor in this movie, mostly in slow-mo montages. montages. And I did enjoy when she got spaghetti sauce all over herself. I actually feel like there was a missed opportunity with the dog who had anal problems that he didn't like shit all over
Oh
her.
yeah, as soon as that's Chekhov's butthole right there.
Yeah.
As soon as she mentioned it was gonna get shot, there's like, oh, he's got diarrhea.
Yeah,
I thought
and
there was
he's
gonna
gonna-
be diarrhea all over her.
Right. It didn't
Especially
happen.
from the writers of The Hangover.
Right. I was so ready and it didn't happen. And I'm just waiting for someone to get shit all over them.
That was the one thing that they're like, no, we can't have that.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah. We can have abusive mothers and abusive fathers and abusive relationships and cheating and
Yes.
divorce and masturbation. But dog diarrhea, it's a little bit much.
I do like that all these women got to be in a movie together. I wish it was a better movie. I like all of them.
But for the most part, I mean, you said it already. You hate this movie.
I do. And people had described it as fun. It was not fun.
What was your emotion that you felt that was not fun during this movie?
I just felt uncomfortable. I felt mostly really uncomfortable. I was like, is this what men think moms are like? And then I got really sad because I know people who are moms. I have a mom. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. She is not like this.
I don't think my mom's like this either.
You are my mom. You know.
Yeah, Max is Aysha's mom.
Are you like this? Do you have to tuck a penis inside of you?
I met this young boy over at the mall last week. I gave him his number. I gave him your number.
Oh.
I gave him a yenta.
I gave him a yenta.
Oh, my mom would do that.
I'm so sorry that we all had to watch this movie.
We didn't have to. We could have just sat here and just said, yeah, that's pretty.
Nah.
Yeah.
But we did.
News
We did.
resolution.
Thank you, guys.
News resolution. We're watching these.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Aysha, thank you so much for coming on and bringing this this cornucopia of shit into our lives that is bad moms. Thank you. Thank you. I can't say it enough. Where can our listeners find you on the internets?
I'm on Twitter at AyshaWax and on YouTube.
Wonderful. You can find me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, jlightcomedy.com for show dates. I'll be in Salt Lake City this weekend at the Wasatch Improv Festival.
Speaking of Mormons.
Saturday night.
Hooray.
Yeah, I'll go see if Kristen Bell and her fundamentalist family's up there. And I'll be I think that's all the major shows that I should plug. Let me take a look at the calendar real here. Max, by the way, thank you as always to my man Max Goldman in the booth.
Oh, thanks for letting me hang out here.
Welcome back, buddy. So glad you're not dead.
No, I wasn't actually even sick.
You just were gone.
He was giving some boy my number. He's my mom.
He is your mom.
I was out on the street and I noticed this young boy.
Guys, this has been another episode of Blockbusting. Please follow us on iTunes, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. I mean, it's your New Year's resolution to yourself. I'm mandating it. Go see something good for a change.